Ba-na-na-na. What's going on? Hello, everyone. What's going on, everyone? GamingNavi here. And today, heroes, we are here to react to another Cloud Connection reaction stream video thingy. This will be their Gen 5 video, which was released a good whole 1 month ago. Dang, really? Yeah, June 9th, 2023. So, we are going to react, and when we do this, we'll be officially caught up until he decides to drop the next one. And I pray he doesn't do it while I'm on vacation, because I like to get on that shit as soon as possible. Anyways, without further ado, let's get on to the video, shall we?
Well, it's been a while since we rated some Pokemon, so why don't we rate some Pokemon? We're over halfway through our Pokemon rating journey, and now it's on to the beloved Gen 5, often considered a high point in the series, or at least it is now.
Yeah, it's funny to think that back when the game first launched, every single person under the sun was like despising it. I couldn't go to high school because people were just like, "Oh, this new game isn't good. It's just like it's not as good as Platinum was." Like you talk to people now about Gen 5, they're like, "Oh my goodness, Gen 5 was the best." Man, the internet people really had weird opinions back then.
Whole bunch of new Pokemon and a higher emphasis on story than previous games, Pokemon Black and White proved popular enough to get a direct sequel that continued the plot and showed you more of Unova.
That's right, but we're not here to talk about the narrative of Black and White. Instead, it's all about the Pokemon. Black and White introduced the highest number of Pokemon of a single generation so far. And while the decision to restrict access to returning Pokemon to the post-game wasn't to everyone's liking, it's safe to say that with over 150 new creatures to catch, there's something here that everyone can enjoy.
But which of the new Pokemon do we enjoy the most?
Galvantula.
That's the operative question of the day, of course, so let's rate the Gen 5 Pokemon. As before, we're rating all 156 Pokemon from this generation on a scale from 1 to 10, based on factors like design, usefulness in battle, and uniqueness. As a reminder, region-specific forms don't count until we get to the generation they're introduced in, so no Mega Forms just yet. That's for next time.
Yep, can't wait for Megas to get introduced. That's really good. I can't wait to gush about the Megas.
Previously, we said we'd be rating fusion forms separately, but we've since reevaluated and discarded that rule, so Kyurem, for example, only gets 1 rating. With that all out of the way, let's get started.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na.
I understand.
Victini is a cute little, I think, rabbit Pokemon of Victory. I think it's adorable. I absolutely adored watching the Victini movie and all that shit, but as for Victini, by design, it's a fire psychic type, which is nice. And it's got a really cute, small design. I don't know. There's something about that just evokes just that very cute feeling. I love it. It's an 8 out of 10.
This is Junichi Masuda's favorite Gen 5 Pokemon, and honestly, it's not a bad pick at all. Simple, but very pleasant.
It's fine, for the most part. Yet another Mew clone, but this one's alright. Wait, why is this at the start of the decks? Grass Starter looks whack this generation. No wonder Game Freak is totally running out of ideas for Pokemon this gen.
I adore Snivy. Like, when I saw all the Gen 5 starters, Snivy was the only one that I was interested in. That was, I looked at Snivy and I was like, yep, that is it. That is my favorite grass type ever. And then Gen 7 would come out years later and change that, but I adore Snivy. Like, that, I still stand by it. Snivy is a 9 out of 10. I love it. Little banana snack.
I've always been pretty ambivalent towards Snivy in the past, but looking at it now, I actually really like the design and that smirky grin.
Ah yes, Smugleaf. While I wasn't really following online Pokemon discourse leading up to Gen 5, I am aware of people trying to figure out the starters and giving them names before they were officially revealed and or localized.
And don't...
Servine, yeah, okay, Servine ain't good. Servine is bad. Because of how much I love Snivy, I want to give it a 6, but at the same time, it's weird. There's no denying that it got weird.
Already, this line is losing me. Servine isn't the worst upgrade, but yeesh, I do not care for that rounded body shape, even if it makes sense for a snake.
God, I hate this thing. I remember picking up Snivy as my starter when I picked up White as a kid, and keeping it until level 35, then evolving it into Servine, just to have it for a single level before getting Superior.
Ooh.
That's how much I don't like Servine.
Yikes. Superior is fantastic. Its name is correct. This is a superior design. This is a fantastic, elegant, borderline royal snake. Look at that popped collar, all right? This is a snake that is ready to tell you why you suck and rub it in your face. And all with a dignified accent. That is a fantastic snake. I like Superior. 7 out of 10. Not as amazing as Snivy, but I love it. I also think it's weird that it does still technically have hands. And like everyone forgets that. Because it's just those little leaves right there are its hands. Its arms technically. It still has them. You just don't. They just don't exist anymore, I guess. It's so weird, but I love it. 7.
I had something going here, but I just can't get into Superior, sorry to say.
Rip.
Also, it looks like a banana being peeled, which doesn't add or subtract any points for me, it's just an observation.
Real talk, why don't we have an actual banana Pokemon? We have a sunflower seed Pokemon. We have a Pokemon based off perfume. That's next generation. We have Pokemon based off ice cream cones. Why don't we just have a banana Pokemon at this point? I need one. And then watch as that banana Pokemon becomes the best thing ever made.
As much as I don't like Servine, I love Superior.
Good job,
There's
Dribson.
something about the royal snake design that works so well for me.
Actually, I'd give this an
I'm
8.
slightly biased because I used
Tepig is a cute little pig. Like, the last video we were talking about good old friggin' Lechonk. Tepig got it better in my opinion. Tepig is a much, much better design. That is a 9 out of 10 pig. I love Tepig. It's cute.
Tepig in my Gen 5 playthrough, but Tepig is a really solid, really cute little guy.
It's a pig, yep, and a pretty cute one at that.
Pignite is just like Servine. I don't like. It's not great. I think it's still a little bit better than Servine, so I agree with Cloud on like the. No, I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm sorry. I don't like this build. Like when we get to Embor, it's much better, but I don't like. I don't like whatever happened to Pignite. Like the sun jumping up to 2 feet on this one actually bothers me. Like of all the Pokemon that go from 4 legs to 2 feet, I don't know. Pignite was like my least favorite. Well, yeah, Pignite was definitely my least favorite. 6 out of 10.
Interestingly, I think Pignite pulls the best qualities from Tepig while still evolving in natural ways. This is
I like
how
that it
you
has
do a little
fangs.
starter Pokemon.
I hate to jump on bandwagons, especially Pokemon opinion related, but they seriously couldn't make Pignite anything other than firefighting. Up until Gen 9, the only firefighting types were the second and third stages of 3 consecutive starter lines.
While I really
Embor, which you'll still have Pignite up at the top of the screen. Embor is a fantastic one though. Alright, I do like Embor. Like Pignite was tried something that didn't work. Embor much better. That is also an 8 out of 10. I just really like okay, we didn't need another firefighting type. Yeah, hate to agree with Dripson, join on that Pokemon bandwagon. But like at the same time, this for giving us another firefighting type, this is fine. 8 out of 10.
really enjoyed using Embor, and I do like the design. The weird protrusions across its arms do prevent it from reaching greater heights.
I used to not really like Embor all that much, especially coming off of Blaziken and Infernape, but this design is at least above average. I think it's the tusks?
I like
Oshawott is so cute. I don't know what I was doing as a kid not liking Oshawott. It's adorable. And it is one of the better water types we have this generation. So, I like it. It's cute. It's a 7 out of 10.
where the Oshawott
Definitely not as cute as Tepig or Perfect as Snivy, but like, it's a good one.
line goes far more than I like Oshawott itself, I think. I think it's the white body color that doesn't work for me.
Yes, water. I think it's a better name than Oshawott, but I don't really mind this guy all that much.
Anyone remember the speculation of how Oshawott was supposed to be like the grass type, and its head was just like some kind of acorn? Remember that shit?
Slightly better than
Duat is a fantastic form. Like, the other two had not so great forms. Duat's amazing. I love it. That is a 9 out of 10. I love Duat.
an Oshawott, and the light blue color is enough to give it another point.
Another letdown going from the first to second
Ouch.
stage of starters. Is this the generation with the worst middle evolutions across all starters?
Oh, come on. Duat's great. Duat's like the Gen 1 middle stage evolutions, alright? It's a natural evolution from first to second form, and it's a good advanced improvement. I like Duat.
They call
Samurott is a 10 out of 10. I regret sleeping on Asho as a kid, mostly for Samurott. That is a fantastic Pokemon design. I love it.
Samurott, the formidable
Probably one of my favorite water starters ever. Like, Mudkip will forever hold that spot. Samurott's probably right behind it, all things considered.
Pokemon, and it definitely is that. It is also pretty damn awesome.
Yep.
Once again, pretty alright. I think one of the issues I have with this and Emboar is that they feel too much of a jump from the middle stages. Whether it goes 1, 1.5, 3, or 1 to 5, in terms of how much there is, I don't know. But the evolutionary progression feels off for this and Emboar.
Generic.
Patrat is our Gen 1 normal, is our Route 1 normal type. I don't know about this one. It's just a rat. Like, I know Rattata is also just, you know, a rat, but like, at the same time, I don't know. Patrat just feels less than Rattata. I almost want to give Patrat a 4. Like, not because it's bad, but just because, again, it's kind of... If it weren't for the eyes going freaking murder kill me on me, I wouldn't remember it at all. It'd be like Smoliv. So, I'd say like a 4 out of 10.
Route 1 rodent, although this one looks like it needs some sleep. Seriously, look at those eyes.
I don't think it needs sleep. I think it needs some eye drops.
I really have no thoughts on Patrat. It's a Pokemon that rarely, if ever, occupies my mind.
Look at this.
Watchog is just Patrat but taller, and its fur got a little bit red. I have nothing. It's still just forgettable, even by, you know, Route 1 normal type standards. Because, like, think about it, we had Zigzagoon and Linoon, which Linoon fell off, but Zigzagoon was really cute. We had Centrate and Flirt, which were both amazing. And then we had Bidoof and Bibarel, which memed the fuck out of them, and HM Slave for the win. But, like, Watchog is just there. You don't exactly see one freaking about Watchog. So, like, yeah, I agree on a 4. It's not even really an improvement. It's, like, on the same par with Patrat.
This little grump, he's so stupid.
I think this is the least interesting Route 1 normal type rodent. This could have benefited from a Psychic or Dark type.
Lillipup is cute. That is a nice little doggo. That is a 7 out of 10 doggo. Plus, you can get really quick and it has pickup. And pickup is by far my favorite ability in a Pokemon game. Like, Nuzlockers will say, like, oh, Intimidate's the best ability in the game. No, it's pickup for me because I want to get more items to either sell or use later in the game.
Eric, cute puppy. Look, I love dogs, but Lillipup is just a little pup. I would still pet, but it's not that impressive.
It's a dog, yes, but I really don't care for those tiny dogs that are 80% fur. You know, your Bichon Frise, your Shih Tzu, or obviously, your Yorkshire Terriers.
Herdier.
I love Herdier. Like, I don't remember what breed it is, but it's adorable. It's actually... I'm not good with dog breeds, but whatever breed Herdier is supposed to be is actually one of my, like, my favorite types out there. Like, on par with the Corgi for me, if you ask me. I adore Herdier. It's an 8 out of 10 dog. I like it.
Herdier gains a lot of points because it has a far more striking
It also has a mustache.
design, even if it does have a permanent frowny face.
It's more fur, but with significantly more dog added to it. So more points for balancing out the fur to dog ratio a bit better.
Y'all remember what I said in the last video about how I love big dogs? Well, that's precisely what Stoutland is. It got big, it got a lot more fur for me to love on, and I got a giant mustache. I love Stoutland. 9 out of 10.
Long-haired dogs don't appeal to me, and unfortunately, Stoutland is no different.
Aww.
Still not a fan of these super furry breeds of dog. St. Bernards and such.
It's like...
Purloin. I like Purloin. It's a nice cat. It's devious and probably will kill me in my sleep, but I trust it. It's a 7 out of 10. Not as good as Skitty. I will say that. I'd still prefer Skitty over Purloin, but we could have had Delicatty.
a Glammeow, but better.
Or Glammeow, but you know what I mean. Alright, Delicatty is the evolution of Skitty. I fucked up. Yeah, I meant to say freaking Glammeow, because that evolves into Purugly.
This looks like it'd be the villain of a direct-to-VHS sequel to the Aristocats.
I can see that.
Nah.
I like leopards. And that is a very suave-looking, pretty freaking leopard. Got like Catwoman vibes. I like it. That is definitely a 7 out of 10.
I'm good.
Lipard actually takes a pretty not great design in Purloin and cleans it up quite well.
So people don't like these elemental monkeys, huh?
Okay, I like the elemental monkeys. Well, very I like the first forms because all of them are really charming and cute. And maybe it's just because the anime put a huge focus on Pansage, but Pansage was definitely my favorite of them. Just because, like, look at him. He's a cute little buddy. He's just adorable. I like Pansage. I like them all, even though they're, like, objectively not that great to use. I give it, like, I'm gonna say this for Pansage, Panseer, and Panpour. All of them are 7 out of 10s. I guess if I were to pick one that'd be worse, I'd say Panpour. But I like them all, if I'm gonna be real.
I can understand why, but Pansage doesn't bother me that much.
Loosely based off of the Three Wise Monkeys, Pansage should speak no evil and shut the fuck up.
Why he got
Ouch.
that Darien Crescend hair?
Okay, I think Simisage is the better looking of their evolutions. I don't know. He looks pretty alright if you ask me. So, I like Simisage. It's a 7 out of 10 as well. Still awful to use, but again, I kind of like it.
Simisage looks like it wanted to sell me some weed in a Dare ad, but it was told it's not cool to smoke in school.
Again,
I already said 7 out of 10. Because I like all of them.
Panseer isn't bad.
Why does he have a poop swirl for hair? I'll tell you why. It's because Panseer is a piece of shit.
Simiseer.
Okay, I don't like Simisage. I don't know what it is. I just never liked this monkey. He looks so dumb for me. I don't know what it is. I don't like him. He is absolutely a 3 out of 10. No, 4 out of 10.
Looks like it's about to drop some hot beats, and I gotta say, I am not interested.
A Japanese Pokemon election in 2016 voted this as the least popular Pokemon, and in doing so, it won its own distribution event for ORAS.
You telling me that thing was less popular than fucking Mr. Mime?
And it's very easy to see why this was voted the least in terms of popularity.
Again, 7 out of 10. Panpour is adorable. Like, it's definitely on the lesser end if you ask me, but I still like it.
And again, Panpour isn't bad.
Okay, I've been hating on these monkeys for long enough. Panpour is just a swell fellow.
I can make...
Simipour was my least favorite. Like, I don't like Simipour. I can't tell why it is, but there's something about its design that I just immediately look at this one and I'm like, you're not as bad as Simiseer, but you are still not good. So that is definitely a 5 out of 10.
Maybe defend some of the other elemental monkeys, but not Simipour. This one is trash.
I'm gonna retcon. Simiseer is a 3 out of 10. That one is a 4 out of 10.
My
There's worse than Simipour and Simiseer, but at the same time, I still don't like them.
Elemental monkey propaganda, Simipour looks like it was working with Simisage, but wanted to sell me, like, a vape.
Mana is cute. Well, okay, not cute. It's appealing, I guess would be the best word. I don't know. Because it's not doing anything immediately good right now, but there's something kind of charming about its design. I kind of like it. Like, I'm probably being in a very, very weird minority of people who like Mana, but it's alright. I think it's a 6 out of 10.
Another generic cute sphere, though the flower patterns are pretty, I suppose.
This is okay, I guess. I always thought it was a little bit weird, a little bit cute.
Yeah. Musharna is absolutely adorable. That one is much better. Like, I could feasibly see that as being like some kind of like pillow thing that you could just snuggle up with. I like it. It's like that 7 out. Yeah, I agree, 7.
I actually think the fetus design is pretty inventive. And
It's a fetus?
It looks pretty nice.
It's a bit less weird and a bit less cute, but the dream mist it's always exhaling is a bit strange to me.
I didn't realize it was a fetus. I thought it was like the same animal that frickin' Drowsy was based off of. Learn something new every day, I guess. I say that as if I haven't seen this video, like, when it came out, but, you know.
At least as a part of its sprite and model.
I
Just
forgot.
a bird.
It's a pigeon. I'm gonna say it. Of all the Route 1 birds we've had, this is probably my least favorite. It's not awful. It's just generic. It's a 4 out of 10 pigeon. Pidgey was iconic for being, you know, first generation. Hoot Hoot was an owl, my favorite bird. Talo, okay, I have some nostalgia for. Plus, the blue color scheme is much nicer. Starly, just has a lot more going for it in its design. P-Dove is just a fucking pigeon. 3 out of 10. I know I just gave like 4, but no, the more I keep rationalizing how it's just an actual real-ass pigeon, just keeps making it go down.
But I do like in the official art how it's waving hello. Hello, Pidove.
Pidove is alright for a Route 1 bird. Nothing special.
Tranquil is definitely a better design than P-Dove, I will say that. Still not immediately do anything, but I will concede that this one is at least a 5 out of 10.
Improvements over Pidove that earn an extra point. Also, hello to you as well, Tranquil.
It's certainly more Pidove, that's for sure.
Female unpheasant is boring, male unpheasant is horrifying.
Unpopular opinion, I actually really like male unpheasant, because I like the little mask design it's got. I kind of want to give it a 6 just because I'm a sucker for masks designs. If you put a mask on something, I will always immediately think that it looks kind of cool. Alright? So I'm sorry, I'm going to be a bit kinder and give male unpheasant a 6. And female unpheasant a 5.
So you split that down the middle, and you get a bad Pokemon overall.
I wish this Pokemon had, like, usable offensive capabilities. Like, it is either running 60 power Aerial Ace / Pluck, or 140 power 2-turn Sky Attack as a flying type move.
Okay, I've never actually used unpheasant, so I didn't realize it was fucking dog shit.
Unless you used this for Fly. Or it uses its weaker special attack, in which case it gets only 75 power Air Slash. It sucks that this is also one of the few Pokemon this generation to learn Fly, and the earliest one you can catch, I believe.
Perhaps.
I love Blitzel. I love zebras. Electric type zebra is just amazing for me. Blitzel is adorable. That's an 8 out of 10.
It sticks a bit too literal to the interpretation of electric zebra, but I just want to give them points for doing a zebra Pokemon in the first place. Because
Agreed.
Zebras are cool.
You could realistically call this Unovan Ponyta, and I think some people would believe you. Not that that's a bad thing.
Zebras are...
Zebstrika is just a bigger, more angular kind of design. I say angular. I'm just saying that because of its mane. It feels like a pretty... I like it. And it's a lot more powerful. 9 out of 10.
Still cool, and while Zebstrika is
I love it.
extravagant, it is undoubtedly a really good design.
It's just a bigger, angrier Blitzel, but for some reason I don't think it works as well.
Why do
I love Roggenrola. Like, I remember in the anime, it has a really goofy voice. I can't replicate to save my life. Like, Roggenrola! Like, that was horrible. I can't do Roggenrola voice, but I definitely like it. It definitely resonates better with me than Geodude ever did, and definitely better than Nosepass. Fuck Nosepass. All my subs, we hate Nosepass. Am I right, everyone? I say that like no one's watching. So yeah, Roggenrola, I actually really like this one. It's a 7 out of 10. I'm gonna say that right here.
I want to grab Roggenrola by the top and shake him like a maraca. Is that weird? What's that top protrusion supposed to be anyway? Is it okay to grab that? Anyway, mid.
Roggenrola is just a cluster of rocks.
Aw.
Not very interesting.
It would hurt.
Boldore is a bigger improvement. I like it. 8 out of 10. It looks like it's going for like a rock crab kind of thing. You know what I mean? If you just gave it like I say rock, I don't know. It's definitely looking a bit more like bug-like or whatever. It's like a bad stuff they peeling. I've just always liked the Roggenrola evolutions. That's all. That's what I'm trying to get at here.
But I want to pet Boldore. It is surprisingly cute.
Well, at least they attempted to give it some eyes?
It's an
10 out of 10. I love Gigalith. Like, probably one of my favorite rock types ever. It just looks cool. Maybe it's because of all, like, the gemstones just protruding from its body, but I love Gigalith. And I'm not apologizing. Gigalith is absolutely a 10 out of 10 in my eyes.
effective evolution of Boldore, but it doesn't appeal to me as much. Not sure why.
I don't know why, but this hulking stone titan is a beast of a Pokemon.
Good.
I'd probably give it a 10 if its striking lightning blue shiny color palette was the default, but the red looks good too.
When
I liked Woobat when I was first playing these games. It's like a flying psychic type if I'm correct. And I always thought that it kind of looked cute. It's got the one tiny fang. I love that. It's got the heart for an eyeball. And it's just a little ball of fluff with bat wings. I thought that was adorable when I first played it. Alright, I'm not afraid to admit that. 7 out of 10.
played Pokemon White on stream, I caught one of these and nicknamed it Pooshat. I
Aww.
stand by that name since this thing is rubbish.
Aww.
I quite hate Woobat, but I can give it some props for going against a dark or poison type for being a bat.
Poor Woobat. Swoobat's slightly better. Definitely goes for a more bat-like design this time around. And I love bats, so I'm willing to give it an 8.
Suppose this is better, but it's still not very good.
Swoobat appears to be a cross between a pig
Aw.
and a bat.
Drill
It's more like a vampire bat, because vampire bats actually have snouts. Anyway, so for Drillbur, this one is a mole. It has a lot more personality, a lot more good design than Diglett ever did. So I like Drillbur, but not as great. But I'd say it's an 8. Just so I can make it clear that Woobat is definitely on the lesser side. But I still like Woobat.
Drillbur just looks so dang excited, and I absolutely love him.
Drillbur's just a diggin' mole, digging himself a diggin' hole.
I made this beat in like 10 minutes, so don't make fun of it. I don't feel like I need to make fun of it. I think it speaks for itself.
Sans
Excadrill is fantastic. Like, you take the cute little mole, you mature that thing up, it's amazing. It's a drill Pokemon now. I like it. 9 out of 10.
Slash's edgy brother.
Fun fact, beta black and white sprites had the slashes on Excadrill's body flipped from the current version.
Diet
I know what he's about to say. It's like Diet fucking Chansey. And yeah, that's really what it is. Except this time around, it's like actual nurse material. Even the animates portrayed that it helps out the elderly and whatnot. So, for lore reasons, I want to like Autono. But for like actual in-universe reasons, I don't like Autono at all. And I really have to question why this fucking thing got a Mega Evolution of all things. 4 out of 10.
Chansey. No, literally, this looks like Chansey if she went on a diet.
Probably the most slaughtered Pokemon in these games. If
Yep.
you played these games at all, tell me if you never farmed rustling grass for some easy EXP.
So I never did, because oddly enough, while I play the Gen 5 games, I don't recall actually having to grind that much. But, like, if I definitely saw rustling grass, I would rush to it just so I could hope it was an odd no. But, like, I never did that shit intentionally.
God,
Timber is weird. It's like it wants to be the Machop of this generation. Like, we've had a couple Pokemon that so far that, feel like they're trying to be akin to, like, Gen 1 Pokemon. Like, Blitzel was an electric type, Ponyta. We just had Diet Chansey. This feels like it wants to be this generation's version of Machop, but it just doesn't hit it, which is weird because I already wasn't a fan of Machop. But I will say it's slightly better just because Machop weirds me out. 5 out of 10.
I did not realize how pronounced Timber's veins were, and they freak me the fuck out.
Machop, but if he worked carpentry.
Lift
Girder. I don't like it. Not as cool as Machoke. It's just bigger Timber. 4 out of 10.
he shift, but most importantly, he kinda sucks.
Machoke, if he worked construction.
Conkeldurr is still not doing anything for me. 4 out of 10. It's nothing at this point. I don't like it.
Suppose Conkeldurr is an improvement, but not by much.
What, did you think I'd continue the joke? I only count 2 arms.
Blah.
Timepole is kinda cute. 6 out of 10. I have nothing else to say. Water ground type, of which case this is another one we've had. We keep getting water ground types. I think we've had enough.
Oh, look at the little face. It's so cute.
Timepole is pretty cute. Nothing special, but cute.
This one looks like a dork, but I still sorta like it.
I agree. It looks stupid. Except I don't like it. 4 out of 10.
Quite a downgrade from Timepole if you ask me.
Weird to think Ash had one of these in the anime and he never evolved it. Alright, that weirds me out sometimes.
A solid Pokemon and a good evolution overall. Not much more to say, really.
Agreed. Like, we start off something cute, then it gets weird and ugly, and now it ends on this. This is definitely a better way to end on it. Alright, this is, 6 out of 10. Still not doing much for me, but it's not horrible this time.
This may be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I don't think Seismitoad is all that bad. A somewhat standard amphibian design, but not bad at all.
Dribson's correct on that one. I mean, I'd still stick by giving it a 6 out of 10 rating, but it's definitely not bad.
But how he throw with only 3 fingers?
We don't think about it. Anyway, we have just straight up a martial artist as a Pokemon. Like, we had Pokemon which just looked like humans in the past. This one just looks even more like a human, despite the red skin and 3 fingers. Maybe it's the fact that it's actually wearing clothes that bothers me, but just, man, I don't like Throw. 3 out of 10.
Oh boy, more discussion on why Pokemon need to wear clothes. What advantage does wearing a judo gi provide to Throw?
But how he sock with only 2 feet?
This is a 4 out of 10. It's still not that, it still bothers me, but it just kind of, it's not as bad as Throw.
Wait, scratch that.
And why does Sock wear a karate gi? Also, why does its nose/eyebrow hybrid only go over one eye? Please do not recite the trivia section of Bulbapedia in the comments for this one.
Maybe
Suwaddle's cute. It is. It's got that little friggin' ooh kind of face on it. It is definitely an adorable bug. I like it. That is an 8 out of 10 bug.
this is a pretty standard bug Pokemon design, but fuck it. Suwaddle is precious.
Cute little bug. That's it.
Discount.
If we want to go to a Pokemon that's making a cocoon, I think Swadloon has a lot more personality to it. It's definitely a lot more charming. Not as great as Suwaddle, though. 7 out of 10.
Count Bidoo.
Swadloon is as snug as a bug in a leaf. It's certainly not wearing a rug.
I like praying mantises. I think we've been over this before, but I like mantises, and that's what Leavanny is, if I'm correct. And I think it's pretty charming. 8 out of 10, right up there with Suwaddle.
I like the Mantis design, but Leavanny is still only a good Pokemon for me.
Generation 5 is where we really started to see bug Pokemon not be bad overall gameplay-wise, with only outliers such as Scyther or Heracross being worth taking into the late game. And Leavanny is a pretty decent example of that.
It's
Venipede is much better. I adore Venipede. Well, okay, I'm referring to Scolipede, but Venipede's nice. All right, it's a 7 out of 10. Agreed. It's a centipede. It poisons your enemies, and I don't know. There's something about its design that on release I definitely vibed better with than other bugs. For some reason, maybe it's because I knew about Scolipede in advance, but I vibed with Venipede more than I did. What's it called? What the fuck am I thinking of? I just saw it. Whatever the last bug we were talking about was.
rare that bug Pokemon.
Suwaddle, there we go.
But Venipede certainly hits that description.
Not a bad design overall, but I could do without the hunchback.
This guy.
It's a wheel now, and it's weird. It detracts from the entire evolutionary line, but for some reason, I still like Whirlipede. Like, I want to give it an 8. I know that's being way too charitable, but I don't know. There's something about Whirlipede that I just kind of like.
This guy reminds me of Wheelie from Kirby, and that's about all I have to say.
I think it's safe to assume that Whirlipede rolls around to move, right? So can the horns on its head and its ass retract, or is it a bumpy ride?
Holy shit, giant bug alert. Kill it now.
Scolipede is fantastic. I love it. Like, it is a giant freaking centipede monster thing that will kill you. And while it would terrify me, I still think it looks cool. 9 out of 10 bug.
But also 7 point.
No, 8 out of 10 bug. I changed my mind.
It's real Arthroplora.
I'm gonna go take Venipede down to take Whirlipede down to a 7 now.
Hours now.
Cottony reminds me of mint ice cream, but probably doesn't taste as good.
Cottony's adorable. I think it's nice. Like, we've had lots of Pokemon which are just balls of fluff. Cottony, it is the ball of fluff. I think it's just amazing. I love it. It's a 7 out of 10.
Pretty average floofy plant. Like a good Hoppip.
I like.
Whimsicott's even better. Now it's got a little body. It's just so happy to see you, and it's now got arms and it wants to hug you. Alright? And you want to hug it back because you know that big floof of cotton is going to be the best hug you'll ever get. I love Whimsicott. That is an 8 out of 10.
I like Whimsicott, and I don't know why.
Above average floofy plant. I'm not so sure of the vine-like ears or horns or whatever they're supposed to be.
I think it's supposed to be horns, so it kind of looks like a ram. You know what I mean?
Aw.
Petal is cute. 7 out of 10.
This little onion is actually pretty adorable.
Pretty cute, all things considered. Not stellar, but good.
Just
8 out of 10. It has a lot more personality than the entire Vile Oddish evolutionary line. It's just better. I like it. 8 out of 10.
Count Bellossom, but Lilligant is still really good.
Call me crazy, but I think this is one of the best-looking, vaguely feminine humanoid Pokemon we've ever gotten. I think it's the face not being very human that makes me like this more.
That makes
It's
sense.
a fish, but don't touch or you will get an ouchie.
Basculin is indeed a fish. Again, it's better than some of the other fish we've seen in previous generations, like Finian and such. Still not the biggest fan of it. It's alright. 6 out of 10.
Also, I prefer red striped form because it looks better.
I have no preference. I think both of them look alright.
Very angry fishy swimming at incredible high speed. I think I prefer red stripe Basculin, since the eye shape isn't ugly and the red contrasts the green better.
Petting
Sandile. I like gators. They are cute. Well, technically crocodiles, but crocodile alligator. I don't care. I like them. Sandile is nice. He's an 8 out of 10.
crocodiles is dangerous. Do not do it. Also, I would pet Sandile so hard.
A cute little desert crocodile. A pretty interesting idea for a croc design.
Crocodile
Crocorock, I feel, still works, but definitely it loses a lot of charm that Sandile had. 7 out of 10.
just looks like it's too cool for school, and unfortunately, I don't buy it.
Well, you see, it is too cool for school because in the anime, Crocorock has sunglasses. All right, it's got them Kamina sunglasses, so that means that proves it's too cool for school. All right.
Sandile was pretty good, but Crocorock isn't that great. I wish this was red, angrier, and lost its knee pads.
Unlike the middle evolution, Crocodile is actually cool.
It is absolutely amazing. I agree on Dribson. That is a 9 out of 10. It is fantastic. Its eyes even look like the Kamina glasses now, and it's just ferocious. I like it.
Wow, what a specific set of criteria I wished for. And look at that. They made a much better Pokemon.
Sorry, little dude, I don't care for you all that much.
What? You don't care about the Pokemon who, canonically to the Pokemon world, people will scoop up its poop so they can put it in their jacket pockets to heat themselves up? You're telling me you don't like this little guy? In all honesty, I gave it a 6 out of 10 because it's a fire type you can get early on that's not Panseer and is better than Panseer. And has some more practicality. That's the only reason I'm giving it. Design-wise, I don't really like Darumaka.
It's not a bad design, but extremely simple. This would probably fit in, like, the first 2 generations.
Get away from me, Darmanitan. I suppose I prefer Zen mode, and it does give it an extra point.
I like Darmanitan. I don't want to be here to contradict them when they are negatively viewing Pokemon, but I like Darmanitan. It's a very nice design. I think it is. Kind of like a monkey. Kind of evokes those vibes with me. I think it has some nice flair. 7 out of 10. And the fact that but I definitely am not a fan of it switching to Zen mode. Because then you try to build it up to be the fire fighting type, and then it goes into Zen mode. It's like, oh, nope, sorry, now it's fire psychic, and it's a completely different monster now. I would rather just have one or the other, in all honesty.
Once again, not bad, but extremely simple. I definitely prefer standard mode over Zen mode.
Agreed.
At least for Unova and Darmanitan.
I like Maractus. It's not as good as Cacnea and Cacturne, but I still like a cacti-related Pokemon. And it looks like it's trying its best to be cute. I love it. 7 out of 10 agreed.
Discount Bellossom. Again. But also, it's not bad.
I have seen a fair amount of discourse around Maractus, and not much of it being positive, but I don't think it's all that bad.
It's
I
cute. Double's adorable. It's a kind of little hermit crab with a rock for freaking shell. It's cute. I like it. 8 out of 10.
Really like hermit crabs, and so Dwebble was always going to appeal to me, but even still, how can you deny that adorable face?
I owned like 3 different hermit crabs growing up, and so did my friend who I would hang out with almost literally every weekend. I don't think any of them lasted more than like 6 to 8 months.
Crustle is just bigger. I really don't have much to say on it. Like, Dwebble was cute. Crustle's just kind of there now. So it's like, I gave like, what, Dwebble an 8? I'm going to give this one a 7. Because, again, it's not a bad design. It's alright. And a rock bug type is still really practical. So I don't want to hate on it. it's definitely got some practicality going for it. Its design just isn't as good. 7 out of 10.
Someone help Crustle? It looks like it's being crushed. That's not cool.
I remember one time I was cleaning out the crab's cage and it snipped my finger. That wasn't fun. What was I talking about? Oh, right, Pokemon. Yeah, Crustle's pretty good.
Pull up your...
Scraggy is a Pokemon that doesn't look like it should exist. Like, y'all remember that JonTron bootleg Pokemon game video? Okay? Scraggy reminds me of that abomination in, like, the first fucking game he played. I don't know what it is. I just don't like Scraggy. 4 out of 10.
Your goddamn pants, Scraggy.
I never liked Scraggy's mouth. The always open, upside-down crescent teeth bother me.
What up?
Scrafty is just even more of an abomination, if you ask me. Yeah, it's a lot more powerful, and it has dark typing, so that's cool, and we're supposed to forgive it. No, I don't like Scrafty either. 4 out of 10.
Fucking dweeb.
I don't think Scrafty is much better, especially with the face, but at least there's more going on.
No, thank you.
Yeah, Sigilyph is a weird... I think Sigilyph looks cool, but at the same time, I'm not gonna pick it up and use it. It's a Pokemon that I'd look at and be like, oh, that's a neat looking thing. Anyways, I'm gonna go to use literally anything else, and that's what I'll do. Sigilyph is a Pokemon that exists. 5 out of 10, I guess.
I mentioned in the Gen 9 video that I despised Espathra, despite stating I generally liked abstract Pokemon designs. This is peak abstract Pokemon design, and Sigilyph is what I had in mind when I made that statement.
That's fair. 10 out of 10 Ghost type. I like it. It's haunting because that mask is supposed to represent their face, and they're just carrying on life as they can't remember much of their own previous lives, and they just stare at their mask faces. I love them. Y'all mask is a 10 out of 10 good ghost.
Putting the mask on its dick, yo.
I don't really vibe with the lower bit of the eye, which might be mimicking a teardrop.
It
I
is.
think a purely circular shape would have looked better.
Can't tell if this design is really cool or really bad, so I'm just gonna go right down the middle.
It's a 10 out of 10 because that is cool. A coffin Pokemon is fantastic. It's a coffin Pokemon that wants to just consume your entire soul. I love Coffagrigus. Probably, like, up there my favorite ghost types ever. Shut up, Icarus. I'm playing at my cat. I call him... His name is Milo, but I call him Icarus because he likes to fly close to the sun and then bitch about the consequences. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. You want to complain with me? Huh? You want to do that? You want to complain? Come on, I'm going to pull you over here. I'm on stream. You want to complain to the people at home? Oh, now you want to shut up, huh? That's what you want to do, huh? Suddenly, my cat doesn't want to talk. He was being very vocal a few seconds ago. You heard him. Anyways, yeah, where was I? 10 out of 10 Coffagrigus.
This is probably the best way to make a bulky ghost type, and is very visually distinct from the standard spirit design of ghosts past.
Basic, but I like Tortuga's design quite a bit.
I like turtles. Tortuga's fine. 7 out of 10.
Since this is the first video we've done since Gen 9 has come out, what's the difference between Fossil Pokemon and past Paradox Pokemon? Is Tortuga Paradox Squirtle or something?
That would be a really neat idea, in all honesty.
Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
I picked this as my Fossil in my first playthrough of White, and boy did I regret it.
I kind of like it. Like, it's not that much of an improvement over... I think of it on, like, the same level as Tortuga. I like it. It's a 7 out of 10.
Prehistoric birds are really cool, and Arcan has just enough cuteness to make it a really good pick.
Agreed. Arcade looks like that goofy little friend that you keep around on your team just because he's a little goofball. Still not saying it's that much better than Tortuga, though. 7 out of 10.
Despite its horrid ability, Arcan is a really sweet Pokemon.
I don't necessarily...
Then we have Archeops, which is just weird. It feels like a mess. Like, the Pokemon directors finally heard that, oh, dinosaurs might have had feathers on them. Like, oh, shit, we need to make a dinosaur covered in feathers now. And that's what they did. So I actually think it contracts less, so 6 out of 10 from me.
necessarily like Archeops' design as much as Arcan, but it did carry me a lot through my Gen 5 playthrough, so I want to give it points because of that.
The cooler Aerodactyl.
Ooh. It's a trash bag. That's what it is. I know it's popular to hate Trubbish, so I'm not adding anything new, but I don't like Trubbish. Like, not even on the grounds of, oh, it's unoriginal, it's just a bag of trash, but I hate it on the grounds of, were they couldn't think of anything better than an actual trash bag. Like, pick something else. Heck, I'd take a trash bin, not a trash bag. Make a trash bin, make it look like there's a little gremlin hiding in it. I'd take that. 3 out of 10, I'm sorry.
Everybody shits on the Trubbish line, but I will give them credit. For a sentient trash bag Pokemon, they basically nailed it. That being said, it isn't spectacular.
If you've been on YouTube long enough, you maybe remember the age of Pokemon spoofs. On my life, I swear I had the idea of a garbage bag Pokemon back in, like, 2006 maybe, making our own spoof videos.
Now,
Garbodor is even worse. It's like, hey, do you think that there might be some slight amount of charm to Trubbish that might make it look cute? Well, what if we made it evolve into one of the worst things ever? 1 out of 10. I hate Garbodor.
Garbodor, I don't have a defense for. This thing looks pretty disgusting, but I suppose that was the point.
Anyway, I know
Just because you intend for something to look disgusting doesn't mean that that makes the design good.
this is like the easiest line to point at and say that Gen 5 has no good ideas, but like, muck.
Shadow the Hedgehog as a furry.
Zoro is cute. I love it. I love foxes, and I think that's what Zoro is supposed to be. And I just love the little edgy color scheme. I'm a sucker for it. 8 out of 10.
Wait a minute.
This is one of the cleanest Pokemon designs of all time, and is very clearly going for that generational mascot pre-evolution idea that Riolu was.
Yep.
Iconic
10 out of 10. I adore Zoroark. That is just a very fantastic design. Okay, I don't care if I'm joining up with I don't care how people view me. I love Zoroark's design. Easily one of my favorite non-ghost types ever. I love Zoroark.
for sure, but Zoroark is just pretty solid for me.
I'm pretty sure that this Pokemon is the reason that online battles come with a team preview and choosing Pokemon in a set order. Also, yeah, definite generational mascot Pokemon. It's a shame it never was playable in Smash, but damn that would be difficult to implement.
Minchino's cute. It has a lot more charm personality than frickin' Petrat did. Maybe it's just because this time around Minchino's actually cute, whereas Petrat was just forgettable. So I'd give this a 7 out of 10.
Minchino is getting
What's
a
wrong?
9 purely because
There's my
it's
cat.
a chinchilla, and chinchillas are basically perfect animals.
Minchino is a pretty solid, yet simple design. Also, did you know that Professor Juniper's Minchino can be shiny when she's introducing the player to the world of Pokemon when starting a new game?
Minchino, but it slays, queen.
Yeah, basically. It's Minchino but with fashion. So I have to give that 8 out of 10.
Yas.
Again, a pretty clean design. Nothing really that bad about it.
The kissy face bothers me more than it should, but otherwise, Gothita is an alright Pokemon.
6 out of 10. It's like Smoochum, but like if Smoochum was good.
Hot Topic Poster Child.
The lips don't.
You're a bit early on that, Dribson, because that's Gotharita. Gotharita's neat. I like it. Like Wednesday Addams bullshit over here. I gave Gothita 7, well 6. This is definitely, yeah, Cloud's on the right track. It's an 8 because it's better. It's better than a 7, but I'm not gonna give it like a 9.
Don't bother me as much, and I love the deep black and white contrast on this line, especially on Gothorita.
I'm really not a fan of Gotharita's design. This whole line feels like it's trying to be the antithesis of the Ralts line, but it's a bit too human.
Gothitelle, I want to give it the 9, but I can't for one reason. You think that after seeing Gotharita and its legs, you think this thing is probably packets of like longer legs and shit like Gardevoir? No, it has 2 nubs for feet at the bottom. Alright, it doesn't have legs, it has 2 nubs at the bottom. Alright, and that bothered. I used to really like Gothitelle until I learned that information. Now my view on this Pokemon is ruined. 8 out of 10.
I think I previously wrote this Pokemon off as just being too gothy, but you know what? I was dead wrong.
I am a huge goth. Like, I love goth. Like, that is a vibe I want to dress goth. I want to say that while we're on that topic. Personal inflection about myself there, or reveal, I guess.
Gothitelle rocks.
Gothitelle isn't all that bad, despite still being very feminine humanoid. Maybe it's the dress-like design of hiding the legs?
Look, a ball.
Ball man! Solosis is a cell, and I think it's unique. 6 out of 10.
Ball man.
Solosis
Sorry, I
is
cut you off there,
actually
Cloud.
pretty cute, and the cell mid-mitosis is quite the out-there choice for inspiration.
I guess this can have an extra point over Solosis, but you know, it's still not great.
No, I put it on the exact same level as Solosis. It's still unique. It's definitely not doing anything good. It doesn't even look like that much of an improvement to me. 6 out of 10 still.
While definitely not as cute, Duosion is more of the same as Solosis. Also, I always wondered why Gen 5 critics never brought this up when saying that Unova has bad designs. This one is really just a green ball.
Yep.
Okay, I actually like Reuniclus a lot. It looks like it's having the time of its life in that green goo.
Agreed.
Pretty solid design overall, especially given the theme.
I think of it as a 7 out of 10. It's definitely better, but I'm still not picking this thing over the Gothitelle.
Duck sploosh.
DuckTales, a woohoo! 6 out of 10.
It's just a duck. Not a silly looking one like Psyduck, and not a really cute one like Quaxley. This looks like some concept art for a character in the DuckTales reboot from a few years ago.
Heh. Swana's nice. I like swans. They are very pretty birds. I like it better than Bombardier, so I kind of want to give it like an 8 out of 10.
I absolutely love how Swana looks like she's disappointed in everybody in the official art. Anyway, it's just a swan, and swans are jerks, but they're also pretty, so whatever.
I know nothing about birds, so I didn't know swans were jerks.
I know that these two are based off of the story of the ugly duckling turning into a beautiful swan, but they messed up and made the swan look worse.
Making
Ouch.
an ice cream Pokemon is actually pretty fun, although I don't think Vanillite would taste pretty good.
Everyone loved to criticize Vanillite and its evolutionary line for just existing because, oh, look how unoriginal they are. No, Vanillite's nice. You want to make new ice types, I think this is absolutely a good way to go. Vanillite is fantastic and it is adorable. I give it the 8 out of 10.
I mean, I like vanilla, but I doubt Vanillite actually tastes like vanilla. It probably just tastes like ice.
The
Yeah.
other easiest line that people point to and say Game Freak ran out of ideas, but I quite like it. It's a simple and very topical design for an ice type.
Sharp.
Okay, so this is definitely not as cute as the previous one, I will say that. It's still not a bad design, but I definitely don't like it as much. I agree on like a 7.
Protrusions. Do not eat.
Vanillish is more of the same, but bigger, but it still works.
The same, but a hideous experiment that should not exist.
Yeah, making a double scoop doesn't make it worse either.
Yeah, okay, it's still not a bad design in my eyes, but it's definitely losing me at this point. 7 out of 10 agreed.
Not that it makes it better than Vanillish, but I really never got the hate for these three.
You know,
Okay, Deerling is really cute. I like it. And having a normal grass type is also nice. I think my personal favorite form is the winter form.
it is pretty amazing how much a simple colored deer
I also 8 out of 10.
can make for such a great Pokemon.
No, 7.
I prefer autumn form myself, although
No,
summer form
8.
comes pretty close.
Deerling is super cute, and I guess it makes pretty good use of the season mechanics introduced exclusively in these games. I think I like spring form the most, since the pink matches very well with the tan of the body, though autumn form is close behind.
And now we have Sawsbuck, and again, winter form is my favorite. I just think it looks really neat. I like deers. Alright? 8 out of 10. It's right up there with Deerling.
Saw a buck once. Also, I like winter form the best because the white tufts of fur look really pretty.
While Sawsbuck is fine for the most part, I like that its name is somewhat referential to the 4 seasons. Sawsbuck. Summer, autumn, winter, spring.
That's creative.
I think I like autumn form the most, but winter is close behind, and could have been my favorite if its antlers were based more off of conifer trees and had some leafage to them.
Emolga is absolutely the best Pikachu knockoff, like, out of all of them. Giving a type change to this one was a fantastic... Like, okay, Palmy, the Gen 9 one became a flying type, which we don't really need more of those. Having an electric flying type is fantastic. I love flying squirrels. I agree, this is a 10 out of 10.
Yes, it's another electric rodent, but Emolga can fly. Pikachu can't fucking fly, can't it? So high marks all around. Emolga is the best.
I would say this is probably the most forgettable Pikachu clone, but 2 of these Volt Switch between each other in Elisa's gym a lot, so it's kinda hard to forget.
I don't care for it.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the lesser bugs of this generation. Carablast just exists. Let's see what I'm gonna say. Yeah, 6. That's fair.
This little gremlin looks like a pre-evolution of Heracross, and probably could have been if this was from Gen 2 and Heracross was from Gen 1.
Still don't...
I like Escavalier. I think the armor plating and the lances look fantastic. I'm a huge fan. All right, this is a Pokemon that I saw in like before I got the game, and I was like, I really wanted one. I want to give this an 8.
Don't care for this one, and I actually like Escavalier even less.
A solid improvement over Carablast, but trading it for a Shelmet to evolve each other is really dumb, and probably started the trend of introducing really stupid evolutionary methods going forward.
Yeah.
Actually,
Fungus. Okay, so we could bring Voltorb this generation, so how do we trick our players? By making this thing. I don't hate it, but I'm still not a big fan. 6 out of 10.
I think the Pokeball camouflage is pretty inventive, even if the face is just a Diglett face.
Voltorb's gimmick of Pokeball mimicry, but kinda worse at it, since Voltorb and
Yep.
Electrode at least look like they could have evolved naturally into a red and white color scheme, without the full pattern of the Pokeball.
If Dribson makes the joke we're all thinking of, I will rip his dick off.
Are you making that promise to anyone? Because I don't want mine. So, Among Us. Among Us. There we go. Sussy Imposter. Any of those references. Also, I'm still not a big fan. 4 out of 10.
Also, not a great Pokemon.
Don't say it. It's not funny. Don't say it. It's
Say
not
it.
funny. Nobody's the imposter. Nobody is sus. Don't say it. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. Get out of my head.
Hey guys, I think Blue over here is looking a little sus. I think we should eject him from the video. I'll allow this one. No dick ripping. Can you do it to me? I need to stop that. That is. I don't want to. That is a horrible joke. I'm not making that.
I don't know, I just think Frillish looks a bit too ethereal to me, and
Excuse me, but that is a ghost type. All right, it's supposed to be ethereal. I'm sorry. I didn't. I'm sorry. Please don't read that too seriously. I like ghost types. So my usual 10 out of 10. I also just like jellyfish. Like, they're evil son of a bitches that are... They're evil, but at the same time, they're pretty. So I kind of like Frillish for that reason. Especially the male form on this one of Frillish. So I give it that 10 out of 10.
I really love jellyfish, and I know this is a ghost type, but still, meh.
Yeah, these are some murderous jellyfish, alright.
Same notes as before.
Jellicent is fine for the most part,
I give the same rating, except this time I actually prefer the pink form.
though I think the heads are a bit too big compared to the rest of the body.
Male form looks like the Pringles logo. And I know that's not an original joke, but still, that actually puts me off and makes me prefer the female form.
It may be the caring Pokemon, but I don't think I care for Alomomola all that much.
It's so amazing got an evolution of Love Disc, except it's not. And a matter of fact, I hate it even more. 2 out of 10.
Oh wow, Gen 5 introduced the Love Disc clone.
Joltik's a little dude, and I absolutely love it.
Agreed. 9 out of 10. I love Joltik. If only there was a way we could improve upon it, but I just can't think of what that would be.
Joltik is super cute, at least for a bug.
What
Perfect. Flawless. I love Galvantula. Alright, 10 out of 10 Galvantula gang.
Galvantula loses in pure cuteness, it gains in looking super duper cool. I really love this line and think it
Agreed.
deserves more attention.
Galvantula is an awesome bug-type Pokemon, especially given its unique at the time electric dual typing.
Sharp protrusions, do not eat.
Ferocity is definitely weird. Like, it's not anything good to look at, but Ferrothorn is much better. And a Steel Grass type is fantastic. Like, okay, you're quad weak to fire, which people will definitely be bringing along. But it's still a really good wall, because electric typing cancels... Because grass type can, cancel out things like electric and shit. And Steel can bring up a lot more other defenses, so I think it's kind of underrated. I like Frostseed. 7 out of 10.
Danger Egg.
This look
Frostthorn I love. Like, this freaking thing that hangs from the walls and just will strike anything. I love it, okay? That is easily an 8 out of 10 for me.
looks like the anti-Roomba. On the scene, not motorized, and doesn't clean shit. Anyway, it looks fine, I suppose.
It's certainly better than Ferroseed, that's
Aw.
for sure. Also, why do official sources, including the anime, call it Ferrothorn, when Ferris would imply its name should emphasize the first syllable, Ferrothorn?
I love...
Clink is 2 gears. It's like Magnemite to Magneton, where it's just multiple of a Pokemon. I don't know. It's not awful. I can't say that. But it definitely feels really weak. I'm definitely gonna go on the 3. Like, I don't think it's 2 out of 10 material, but I'm definitely not thinking it's that bad so far.
how the two gears look like dopes, but that's literally the only thing I like about it because I do not like the design at all.
Another easy line to point and laugh at, but also Magnemite.
The same
Clang. Okay. I think this is generally a better improvement because that second gear no longer is just the first gear again. This time, this second gear is a lot more different, unique. I give this one a 4. I'm still not liking it, but it's improving.
but another gear.
Same as Clink, but I will admit that the names aren't doing them any favors.
This is a boring ass name, Cling Clang. But again, like a 5 out of 10. I'm still not a big fan, but it's definitely getting a better design by this point.
The same, but choke collar.
Okay, Clink Clang is a funny name, I'll admit, but other than that, it's just more of the first two, like Magneton.
Sperm.
I know he's about to say sperm Pokemon. I like eels. Eels are also kind of creepy, but Tynamo, it's kind of charming. 7 out of 10.
Sperm fish. But actually, Tynamo looks pretty nice.
I don't like what's going on with Tynamo's mouth, but we found the only evolutionary line to still have no natural weaknesses, since Fairy-type ruined that for Sableye and Spiritomb.
Electric is a lot creepier. Like, this goes into that, like, deep sea horror kind of eel design. But it's still kind of charm. But I still kind of like it. I leave it at a 7.
Mouth kind of terrifies me, but the electric is kind of cool otherwise.
Electric is a bit better, but I don't like it flopping around on its tail.
I don't know.
The fact that this thing has feet now is weird. But I still kind of like its design. Alright, it's an 8 out of 10 this time.
What it is about Electros that makes it much more endearing to me, probably the limbs, but yeah, Electros is awesome.
I like the arms, I'll say that. The feet are just... I don't know.
Electros is a good design that looks so much better in its official artwork than it does as its animated sprite. And while the future model's animations making it levitate are nice, I don't like how it swims in battle.
He head too big for he goddamn everything.
I love LGM. It is adorable. I saw this little alien fucker and I was like, yes, I need one of these. And then it evolved into Behem. I just lost interest. I think LGM's a 9 out of 10. I love him.
Fun fact, the name of LGM references the acronym LGM, or Little Green Monster.
That's nice.
The stereotypical design for aliens that LGM is based off of.
Or
I don't like Behem. It looks dumb. It is not... It's not good. I agree, 5 out of 10.
spring.
Why does almost every psychic type this generation have to be the slow, strong, bulky attacker? There's Sigilif, and everything else is slow. This is the 4th one, with Musharna.
Also, I'm bothered by the fact that this thing still has legs. Like, it's already established these things are floating around with their psychic powers. Why not just get rid of the legs and go for a more UFO, like, body design, you know what I mean?
Gothitelle, Reuniclus, and now this. Also fun fact, Behem's name references the acronym BEM, or Bug-Eyed Monster, the other very stereotypical design for aliens that Behem is, well, less based off of.
Precious
10 out of 10. I love Litwick. I have a Litwick plush now. It is adorable. It will consume your soul, and I will feel perfectly happy with it.
little candle boy. Litwick is the best, and I will not hear otherwise.
Litwick is adorable. And candles are, once again, a great design choice for a ghost type that isn't just a typical spirit.
It does lose some of the cute factor from Litwick, but Lampen's colors and design are still incredibly striking.
Still a 10 out of 10 for me. I love it.
While not stellar, Lampent is a great evolution in the design of Litwick.
With a more
And now it gets even more... now it's just flawless. I love Chandelure. Easily my favorite ghost types. 10 out of 10 still.
intricate design and the same excellent colors as before, Chandelure makes an excellent final Pokemon in this line.
I genuinely think that Chandelure is one of the greatest Pokemon designs of all time. This
Based Dribson.
isn't a joke, and is one of the very few hills I will die on regarding Pokemon.
God bless you.
I'm not a fan of the tusks, but Axew is a pretty cute dragon.
It is. Except I actually do like the tusks. I think that adds a little bit more personality. 8 out of 10.
Fracture's wings on its mouth are a bit much, and otherwise, it's just kinda boring.
Still not a fan of the tusks, but I think the general toughness suits Fracture more than the cuteness suits Axew.
So I actually gave this one a 6 out of 10 because I still like the idea of them being tusks, but this time around, as Cloud joked, they really do look like wings, and that kind of just... I think that really just detracts from the design for me.
I like Haxorus just fine, but I do think it's a bit bland. cool, but not impressive.
I'm in that group of people that obsess over Haxorus. That is a 9 out of 10 dragon. I love the armored design. I love the almost like axe-like tusks it has now. It's just, I love it. 9 out of 10.
While cool, I think the axe-shaped tusks keep Haxorus from being a 10 out of 10 for me. I also wonder if this was designed as a pseudo-legendary at some point. It totally could fit as one.
Oh, definitely. Gumshoe is definitely adorable. Like, I think they could have done without the snot. That's kind of gross. But, like, if you got rid of that, that would definitely be a 9 out of 10 for me. But because that's there, I want to give it, like, a 7. Still has potential to be really cute. That's still really gross.
Also, Cubchoo is the best.
Just a little snot bear. Not a great design, but not bad.
Yeah, maybe there's some weird fur tuft placement at the crotch, and the triangle head is a bit weird, but I absolutely love Beartick.
Beartick is good. I actually agree on that one. Beartick is a very fire design. I like it. Well, I say fire, it's ice. Meh. Cool. It's a really cool design. There we go. It's very chill. 8 out of 10.
Also would be my candidate for a Pokemon Christmas ornament.
I like Beartick's design, but I will never get over the tuft of fur placed conspicuously like pubic hair being the only real fur definition it has.
Look, I don't want to think about I don't want to think about Pokemon crotches at all. You don't need to go this far.
Geometry, yo.
Cryogonal is a cool, pun intended, design for an ice type.
I like the idea of a snowflake Pokemon. I just don't vibe with Cryogonal. 7 out of 10.
It's a surprise they hadn't done just a literal snowflake up until this point.
Love the
So, Shelmet. I thought this had potential to be charming. Still not a big fan. 6 out of 10 agreed.
idea, but Jesus Christ, the mouth bothers the hell out of me.
This looks more like a Kirby enemy than a Pokemon, but it's not bad.
I'm thinking it more looks like an enemy from Klonoa.
This one can excel gore the fuck away.
I like Exceligor. Solely for the fact that, like, in its debut episode in the anime, or the episode that more or less focused on Exceligor, it had, like, a Kamen Rider parody thing going on, and I definitely have good memories of that, because Kamen Rider, 7 out of 10.
And this looks kinda like a Kirby boss, but for the second level.
Stunfisk is a big doofus, and I love him.
It's a big doofus, and I don't like him. 5 out of 10.
Although I suppose it's not an incredible design.
Stunfisk is such a funny design that I can't ever bring myself to dislike.
God bless you.
I like Manfu. Like, we're finally getting a fighting type of this generation that I actually vibe with. Like, as we had the Timber Evolution, I didn't like it. We had Sock and Throw, which I weren't big fans of. Manfu is absolutely charming. This is a 7 out of 10. I like it.
It's alright, I guess. It's a pretty basic design that feels more like a Who that Horton would hear.
It looks like a weasel that took up martial arts, and I like that.
God bless you.
Mian Xiao is fantastic. I'm a bigger fan of this. That is definitely a 9 out of 10 for me.
Have some tissues, Gen 5. Anyway, Mian Xiao is very pretty.
Mian Xiao is better for sure, but not amazing by any stretch. It does stand out a lot more than Mienfoo at least.
Bit too spiky for me, sorry.
Yeah, that angular design just does not vibe with me. It just looks really dumb. This is definitely like a 4 out of 10 dragon. I don't like it. I'm sorry.
Druddigon is rugged and ugly, but I really like this design for some reason.
I go let this Pokemon into my heart.
I like golems and like statue-like things. And Golett being a ghost version is really good, and it gets even better when it evolves. Both of them get a 10 out of 10.
It's not terribly interesting, but Golett isn't a bad design.
It's just kind of a big Golett, but Golurk is still pretty cool.
Fun fact, if you take off that bandage on its chest, it unleashes all the souls of the damned and whatnot, I think. No, I think that's Spiritomb. There's a reason that bandage is on there, and if you take it off, the entire universe is doomed, alright? That's all I remember. I also remember that it flies around by basically tucking its legs in and becoming a rocket ship. I like it.
Again, not bad, and it's a bit more interesting, but still not amazing. Also, why does this learn Fly?
Because, well, I just said I'm not going to restate myself.
In the Gen 9 video, I said the Pawniard line is good, but Pawniard is the weakest of the three.
This is a really solid design, but also starts highlighting some of the issues with Gen 5 Pokemon, just how late you can encounter and evolve them.
I agree with Dribson. I love Pawniard. It's very charming. I like it. It is definitely an 8. Because it's a little blade child, but I kind of think but for some reason, I think it's cute. I don't know why. I just look at it and I just think, I could die hugging it, but I would definitely take that risk.
Bisharp is where it's at. Sharp, pun, bold colors, and a nice design.
9 out of 10, agreed. That is a fantastic, that goes from looking oddly cute in my eyes to being just deadly. I love it. 9 out of 10.
This is a very slick design that didn't even really need an evolution into King Gambit, but it does feel just a tad bit too busy.
I feel like if Dribson didn't hate babies, he and I would probably get along.
Bouffalant is pretty excellent.
I'm a huge fan of Bouffalant. I don't know what it is, but I love Bouffalant. Alright, that is a 9 out of 10 normal type for me. I love it.
This is just considerably worse Tauros.
Aww.
Hey, I'm American. I like eagles. Sue me.
It's a fluffy little bird. I adore it. Okay, you are 100% right. 8 out of 10, fluff, wooded pet.
And I like baby birds, too.
Yeah, this is pretty much just a bird. Would fit better as a Route 1 bird in place of Pidove.
Agreed, because Pidove sucks.
Especially with the likes of Pidgey and Sparrow.
Yeah, this would definitely be... If this replaced Pidove, this would have been like this generation's Talo and Swallow evolutionary line. We all would have been obsessing over it.
There is a lot of awesome colors in this one, and overall, Braviary just looks badass.
It really does. Braviary is a fantastic design, and I hate that it takes forever to get one. Because you have to wait till the late game to be able to catch a Rowlet, and then you have to level up the Rowlet. By that time, you already built up a team you're pretty confident with, so you don't really get to use the Braviary. That made me mad as hell. Right? But I do love Braviary. 10 out of 10 agreed.
This bird is as American as George Washington and apple pie and baseball and guns and freedom.
America! Fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah!
But mostly George Washington.
Vullaby looks dumb and stupid. That is a 2 out of 10 bird. I don't like Vullaby.
Just said that I like baby birds, and I do like the baby bird part of Vullaby. But the egg diaper, that makes me want to vomit.
Yep.
Not a great counterpart to Rufflet, and having only white and white too, I'm grateful that this is the worst version exclusive.
Now this...
Mandibuzz is fantastic, though. Like, genuinely, I love... A Vulture Pokemon is nice, and Mandibuzz tackles that fantastically. 9 out of 10. I love Mandibuzz.
This is pretty awesome. Vultures are also pretty cool, and I think Mandibuzz fits the bill.
An improvement over Vullaby to be sure, but still just a step down from Braviary.
Heatmore what?
Heatmore is an anteater, apparently. And it definitely evokes the feeling of Pokemon. It feels on the lesser side for me, and I don't know why that specifically is. It just doesn't vibe with me that great, so I want to give it a 6 for some reason.
Jokes aside, making a fire-breathing anteater volcano Pokemon is really strange, but I think it works really well.
The reason they did that was because of a frickin' Durant, which is a steel bug type, and it became a fire type volcano thing for the sole purpose of hunting Durants. So that's really the only trivia I'm going to drop here.
Heatmore is such a lackluster Pokemon with a really great design. A fire type anteater counterpart to a bug steel ant Pokemon rivals that of Zangoose and Seviper.
Yeah, but can he B-ball like Kevin can?
Durant is a nice looking bug type. I don't really have much to add. It's 7 out of 10 material. It's hard for me to think positively of this one when we recently got off the Galvantula evolutions. Well, I'm still thinking about that because it's fucking perfect. I'd still definitely want S-Cavalier or Excelgor over it, but at the same time, Durant's fine. Plus, Steel Bug type, fantastic typing.
As mentioned before, a great counterpart to Heatmore, but other than that, doesn't do much besides just being a metallic ant.
Love the beetle's hair, but why is this one called the irate Pokemon?
I don't.
It looks pretty peaceful to me.
He looks so cheerful. I love him. Dino is fantastic. All right, he's a good boy. That's a good dragon. 8 out of 10. No, actually, I'd say 9 out of 10.
I'll say it now, I'm not a fan of the shade of blue paired with the black for Dino, though I'm not really sure what would fix it. Whether that's different colors and a modified design of Dino itself.
That's a little more irate, and hell, I just love this line's choice of colors.
Now I go back. Dino's definitely an 8. Zweilos is definitely a 9. Because I like multi-headed things. Well, okay, I wasn't a big fan of Doduo and Dodrio, but when you give multiple heads to a dragon, I think it looks cool. And Zweilos is fantastic, 9 out of 10.
Zweilous falls a bit flat compared to whatever heights Dino reached, but I will take this moment to say I like the naming convention for this line, with the German Ein, Zwei, and Drei in the names matching the number of heads each one has.
Hydreigon is perfect. One of my favorite dragons ever. 10 out of 10. Like, much better than Haxorus. And I also just love Hydras. 10 out of 10 agreed.
Hydreigon has the same good qualities as before, and the blossoming heads are a really nice touch.
Hydreigon is a great design, but I'm still not huge on the color scheme. I wish I had more to say, but that's really it.
This little firebug is really good. Simple, but very effective.
Agreed. I agree on the 8 out of 10 rating as well. It's just a very little fluffy larva, and I like that. And then it becomes Volcarona, which gets even better. 8 out of 10 agreed.
Larvesta is super cute, but it's a shame it's so inconvenient to get in black and white.
Yeah.
Go back to Route 1, surf west for a few routes, collect an egg, and then hatch it.
Just like Slitherwing, Volcarona is an incredibly beautiful Pokemon.
Agreed. On like the whole thing, 10 out of 10 and all. It's a fantastic bug.
I love this one.
When I said all the way back that Scyther was the coolest bug type until, like, Gen 5, this was the bug type that I had in mind when I made that statement. I think this is the cleanest bug type design that Pokemon has ever had.
It's alright, I suppose.
I liked Cobalion. Like, of the Legendary Swords generation, Cobalion was definitely my favorite one. I obsessed over it a lot. Like, I want to be charitable and give it, like, a 9, but... You know, no, I don't have to feel bad about it. No, 9 out of 10, I like Cobalion.
I think that the Swords of Justice have some of the best designs for non-box legendaries we've ever gotten. Each one distinct in design, unlike Sinnoh's Lake Trio, for instance.
Not bad, but Terrakion doesn't thrill me in any way.
Agreed. Terrakion feels, despite the big, bulky design, it feels weak. It just doesn't do it. So I agree, a 6 out of 10. Because it's not horrific or bad. It definitely has a little bit of charm, but I still am not the biggest fan.
While I'm not a huge fan of the horns on Terrakion, the rest of it is good enough not to drop at any compared to Cobalion.
Now this is a very pretty Pokemon, though I'm not entirely sure about the boots.
I agree. Virizion, and as a kid, I kept calling it Verizon after the phone company. I like it. It's very pretty. Not as good as Cobalion, but I still like it. 8 out of 10 agreed.
Another clean design, and though while similar in body shape to Cobalion, is distinct enough to not detract anything.
Nope. Don't like this one.
Yep. Tornadus, I'm going to say this for Thundurus as well. They aren't good. I say Tornadus would be better because I think the tail just looks better than Thundurus' weird anal beads kind of thing going on. I shouldn't be saying that. But Tornadus is not good. It's a 2 out of 10. I'm still not a fan.
I suppose Therian form is better, though?
Oh yeah, if we take the animal forms into like agreement, then I think Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus look a lot better. Like, we'll pull it up. Tornadus. Oh, I apparently have friggin' caps lock on. Wait, what? What other lock do I have on? What is that? I don't know what button I pressed recently, but I have 2 red lights on over here. I have no idea what that is. It's bothering me. There we go. Yeah, here's the Therian form, which case y'all really can't, y'all can see a lot of pictures. I think that definitely looks, if this was the Tornadus we got, I would have been all for it, and I would have said a 7 out of 10. Because it looks alright. And then, since I'm already over here, we're just going to do the Tornadus, Thundurus. Thundurus having like this. Thundurus, I'd say, is 6 out of 10. And then while I'm here, we'll just do Landorus. And Landorus having a cat-like design, I love. Or like, cat or dog-like design, 8 out of 10.
Comparatively, I don't think that the genies, both incarnate or Therian forms...
They're genies? I never thought of them that way. I always thought of them like how we depict God. There's like, some being hanging out on a cloud. That's how I always depict them.
...are as good as the Swords of Justice. I think I prefer Tornadus Incarnate, since the Avian Therian form looks a bit too goofy with its green and purple color scheme.
The colors are far better than on Thundurus, and it actually looks pretty okay. Still not great, and this time I prefer Incarnate form.
Just slightly better than Tornadus in my eyes.
Nope.
But not enough for a different score.
I hate them.
Tornadus is a low 7, Thundurus a high 7, if that makes sense. I think I like Thundurus Incarnate more, but not really for any particular reason, as neither form does more than another for me.
I think the box legendaries for this generation are pretty middle of the road, and though it's a marginal difference, Reshiram is the worst of the two.
So I really like both Zekrom and Reshiram. As a kid, I definitely preferred Zekrom over it, but looking back, Reshiram's a very nice design. It's a blue eyes white dragon. 8 out of 10.
I never really cared for Reshiram that much until a few years ago. But on an unrelated note, one of the few Yu-Gi-Oh cards I had as a kid was a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Like I said, these two aren't spectacular, but Zekrom is at least a majestic creature.
I think Zekrom looks like a dragon bee because its tail thing reminding me of like a bee's stinger abdomen kind of thing. And that's amazing. So I want to give that a 9 out of 10.
Also, I named mine NASCAR.
Zekrom is a design that I've actually grown a bit less fond of over the years. Maybe it's the more vertical stance that Zekrom has over Reshiram.
The warmer colors look pretty awesome, actually.
3 out of 10.
Again, I prefer incarnate form.
Yes. The face of competitive Pokemon singles, fast and bulky attacker, has the contender for best ability and intimidate, gets a plethora of good support moves.
Okay, yes, it is really good. So objectively, I should be giving it a 5. I still hate the design. This design here. So for this design, I want to give it a 3, but for its Therian form, I'm giving it an 8.
I think I prefer Landorus Therian this time.
Good.
Mostly because it's the default form I think of when I imagine this Pokemon.
You know, putting two solid but unextraordinary Pokemon together doesn't make them any better.
So unlike them, I'm actually going to rate Kyurem and its two fusions as different beings, because they are all, I treat them as such. Kyurem by default isn't that great. I think it had the potential to be cooler, and when they introduced fusion, I definitely was excited for that. But Kyurem by itself is definitely a 6, and if we go over to another tab, we'll go Kyurem White. Kyurem White definitely looks pretty cool. I like it. I like how it tries to keep that almost elegance, I'd say, to Reshiram's design integrated with it. And a Fire Ice is just fantastic. I'm a huge fan of that. So I'd say that is definitely a 7. But the real star of the show is Kyurem Black, which just keeps the bulky design, and I think that looks just really cool. 8 out of 10.
I guess Black Kyurem is the best form.
Kyurem always was my favorite of the Tau Trio, funnily enough, even before Black and White 2 introduced Black Kyurem and White Kyurem. I think I like Black Kyurem the most, since it fixes most of the issues I have with Zekrom.
Kinda weird, but not terrible. I do like Resolute form a bit better because the horn suits Keldeo pretty well.
Agreed. We have a My Little Pony Pokemon, and I think that, yeah, its Resolute form looks nice. I like its neat little horn thing it's got going on, and the movie will live with me forever. I thought it was a really neat movie. 7 out of 10.
I think this is the weakest of the Swords of Justice, shying away from the regal and knightly designs of the other three, but it's still an alright design. I think I prefer Ordinary form the most, since the additional colored tufts of fur don't do anything for me, and the horn in Resolute form looks a bit sillier.
Meloetta is a simple idea done simply, but done well.
Agreed. It's the Hatsune Miku Pokemon. I like both of its forms, but its green form is probably my favorite. That is an 8 out of 10 Pokemon.
I vastly prefer Aria form though, as the color contrast and body shape are much better.
Ash totally should have caught it, and I'm also changing my mind. No, that's a 9 out of 10. I like how it's got this little microphone thing on this side, and I think that adds a little bit of extra charm. 9 out of 10. I'm a huge fan of Meloetta. Ash totally should have caught one in the anime. Well, I say one, there's only one, but yeah, semantics.
I don't know what it is about Meloetta's design, but it just works for me. I prefer Aria form, since I'm not a huge fan of the Pirouette form's orange design compared to Aria's light blue-green.
Yep.
Look out, this Pokemon's got a gun! The forms are barely different, but I suppose Shock Drive looks the best?
While not a stellar design, I think this is a fine enough capstone to the last Pokemon designed and created for sprite-based games.
Take the cannon off its back, and I think it's still an alright thing. It's akin to like Durant, so I'd say a 7 out of 10. But you throw the cannon on, and I definitely say that improves the design. 8 out of 10. I like the idea of there being a Pokemon that exists, of Pokemon being modified by humanity. And I know that the future will have, robot Pokemon, but I like the idea of basically cyborg Pokemon. Pokemon that are still organic beings, both cybernetic enhancements. And that's what Genesect is. I like that. Especially because Genesect is like rumored to be a former fossil. So that just improves upon it in my eyes.
I think I prefer Burn Drive Genesect the most, primarily since the drive is the exact same shade of red that the shiny variant is.
And that's every Pokemon from Gen 5 rated. Let's turn it over to Dribson for the usual rundown.
Thanks, Cloud. First, let's look at the running total of our average scores. Cloud's average score for Gen 5 was 6.40, putting it just behind Gen 9, but above Gens 1 and 4. My average score was 6.29, making this my third highest ranked generation so far. Of all 156 Pokemon from this generation, we gave 35 of them the same score, most of which we agreed were between decent and really good. Next, let's look at our total score counts for Gen 5, and the trends this time are pretty expected. We both tended to hover around the 5 to 8 range, but I was both more generous with high scores and more strict with low scores. On the other hand, Cloud's curve was a relatively smooth parabola. And as always, here's a quick recap of our ratings for Gen 5.
Oh gosh, that was... Yeah, he really was a king. He definitely got faster. Also, what was the little message they had at the end there?
Our ratings for Gen 5.
What's his message? He had a message at the end of this. That sure was a recap. Pause. Fuck. Can I go back like 1 second? Pause if you want to. Okay, that's what I've been working really hard to see. Wow.
Now it's time for the awards for Gen 5, separating the cream of the crop from the cream of the crap. First, we've got the awards for best and worst starter lines based on their combined average scores, and the results this time are pretty interesting. For the Perfect Partner Award, we have a tie between the Emboar and Samurott lines.
Rest in peace, Navi. I feel so sad for you, buddy. But yeah, I definitely agree Samurott deserves to be here, and Emboar's a fine Pokemon.
While the Emboar line was fairly consistent, Samurott boosted the performance of its pre-evolutions heavily. And obviously, the Atrocious Ally Award goes to the Superior line. But in all fairness, this line's total score compared to the others was only 1 point lower. So honestly, no matter which way you spin it, the Gen 5 starters are all pretty equal in our eyes.
Moving on to the awards for best and worst legendary Pokemon based on their combined scores. The mythical masterpiece for Gen 5 is Meloetta, a
Agreed, it deserves it. It's a fantastic design Pokemon.
beautiful design that captivated us both. And the Fantastical Flop Award goes to Tornadus, solely because of Cloud's lower rating.
Yeah.
Now we have the awards for best and worst type, calculated via the average score of all Pokemon in the type group. As before, Pokemon with type differences based on location or stat-based forms do count for all applicable types.
I'm having hope for Electric type being the best because we got Galvantula and we had the Dynamo line, and we had a Mulga. I think Electric has a good chance for a best this time.
So for our purposes, Darmanitan is both a fire and psychic Pokemon. The Excellent Element Award goes to Bug, which has had inconsistent performance over the past generation,
Also valid. I forgot about Bug.
but won out handily this time with some outstanding Pokemon. And the Catastrophic Category Award goes to Psychic, which did have some great
Youch.
Pokemon this time, but just couldn't overcome its weaker entrance.
Next, let's discuss the Pokemon with the best and worst glow-up. As usual, we tabulated this by finding the biggest gains and losses from one evolution to the next. Before we continue, we should follow up on a loose end from our Gen 9 video.
Ah, yes.
We couldn't determine how King Gambit fared compared to Bisharp. Now that we've rated the latter, we can determine that King Gambit did not dethrone Crocolore for the Metamorphic Mistake Award, so those of you keeping score at home can rest easy. Anyway, the Terrific Transformation Award for Gen 5 goes to Superior and Mandibuzz, who improved on their pre-evolutions by a factor of 8.
Yep.
And the Metamorphic Mistake Award winners also de-improved by a factor of 8, Servine and Simipour.
Rip.
It's not surprising to see one of the elemental monkeys here, and amusingly, this is the second time a third stage starter claimed the best glow-up award, while the middle starter got the worst one.
Let's transition to the award for the Pokemon that Dribson and I disagreed on the most score-wise. We've got two contentious critter awards this time, Sigilyph and Emolga, the former receiving a 3 from me and a 10 from Dribson, and the latter receiving a 10 from me and a 3 from Dribson.
I sided with
Sure,
Clyde on
that
this.
worked out.
And let's wrap up with the awards for the best and worst antagonists, which, as always, includes rivals, gym leaders, Elite Four trainers, champions, and villain team leaders based on the average score of their teams. First, let's tackle the usual ground rules. When not counting duplicate Pokemon, only final encounters are judged where applicable, trainers must have at least one new Pokemon, super bosses only count if they're fought in the post-game, and no battle facility exclusive trainers. But Gen 5 is a special case since we have 2 sets of games here, both with their own group of trainers to judge. For this occasion, we decided to split the awards and give both Black and White and Black 2 and White 2 their own Big Bad Boss and Bad Bad Boss awards. We had a rule that a trainer who appeared in both games couldn't win the same award twice, but that didn't happen, so we're good. For Black and White, the Big Bad Boss award goes to Cynthia. She's memorable for obvious reasons if you've encountered her, but with the highest scoring team of any trainer we've tracked so far in the series, it's no wonder she took this award.
Yeah, I really can't argue on that. She's the biggest, baddest boss out there. She's going to kill you.
And the Bad Bad Boss award goes to Morimoto.
Ouch!
Sorry, Morimoto-san, but that's what you get for having all 3 elemental monkeys and Woobat on your team. For Black 2 and White 2,
Oof.
the Big Bad Boss award goes to 2 trainers for the first time, Dragon Gym Leader Drayden and Sage Zinzolin. They don't have that many Pokemon, but the ones they do use more than fit the bill.
Yep.
And the Bad Bad Boss award goes to Rival Hugh, if he has an Emboar on his team. His other variants don't do well either, but Simipour once again lets Hugh down. By the way, Morimoto came within 1/10 of a point of having the lowest score for these games as well. Only
Ouch.
time will tell if he takes this award again in a future installment.
Rest in peace, Morimoto.
Finally, let's give out the Special Honors Awards to the best, worst, and best worst Pokemon. The Hall of Fame hosts Pokemon with a combined score of 20, and both Galvantula and Volcarona joined the club this time.
They deserve it.
The Hall of Shame is for Pokemon with the lowest combined score of 2, but Dribson didn't hand out a single 1, so no entrance this time. Finally, the Hall of Tame welcomes Pokemon who received a score of 5 from us both, and we've got 4 newcomers this time: Patrat, Munna, Conkeldurr, and Beheeyem. Well, that's another Pokemon rating series done and dusted.
And it's a lot of fun doing these. And now we are officially caught up with them. So here on forward, you'll be seeing me do these probably the day Cloud does one. So that's going to be fun.
Unlike some of these games, I've actually played through the campaign of Gen 5, or at least Black and White's campaign, so I had a good idea of what to expect. Going through this game live on Twitch with Dribson on co-commentary duties was an absolute blast, and if you don't mind a shameless self-plug, you should definitely check out the stream VODs if you haven't already.
I probably will. I need to be better at watching Cloud streaming Pokemon games. I remember watching his Gen 3 stuff, and that was fun.
But what struck me most about Gen 5's Pokemon was how fresh and unique some of these designs felt. We've ranked over 750 of these designs already, and as we've entered the second half of this series, I still find a lot of joy in seeing what the artists and designers thought up.
Gen 5 has always been one of my favorite games in the series. The animated sprite work in battle is great, a fair difficulty, and at least for Black and White 1, the best story in the mainline titles ever. There was much criticism floating around these games for years after their release, up until sometime after Gen 7. Mostly stuff like, oh, you can't use any old Pokemon, which is something I actually liked in Black and White. I think a lot of people missed these games when they came out because of this, which is a shame.
Yeah, I definitely was. As a kid, when I first got this game, my brother told me, like, oh, it's not as great as the previous Pokemon games. You know, there's no returning Pokemon. I felt a little sad and disappointed when I got White 2. I was like, yep, this is much more what I was hoping for when it came to the next generation of Pokemon. It's amazing. And now I'm older and mature, and I'm like, you know what? I hate that there's returning Pokemon. I want to exclusively try and use the new things that are introduced. So looking back, Gen 5 deserves to be, like, you know, my favorite generation.
I believe, truly, that Gen 5 is the best generation of Pokemon games, and I would argue the last games that lived up to their full potential. Gameplay, story, music, visuals. Sure, some other generations may be better in some regards, but no other games are as good of a full package. If you
That's
skip over
fair.
Gen 5 for one reason or another, I highly recommend picking it up. Black and White or Black and White 2, either is fine. Though my preference is still and will always be the first game. All I hope for
You named your Emboar Poop Sock?
is that the Pokemon Company doesn't completely screw their best games in a
How
row.
did I just notice that?
BDSP. Cough.
Ouch.
With all that said, we'll be back later this year to talk about Gen 6, and from here on out, I have very little experience with the series, so it'll be interesting to check out the rest of the Pokedex. Until then, though, this is Cloud Connection and Dribson signing off. Catch you later.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun to do, and I'm glad that I keep doing these videos. I hope you all have a really good day. Please remember to like and subscribe to Cloud Connection. He deserves it. As you can see, he's 19.k subscribers. He's 0.4k away from being at 20,000, and y'all, he deserves it. So go support him. Go share his channel around. He needs it. Well, I say needs it. No, he deserves it. Anyways, also please do the same for me. I like to think I'm making good content. So please like and subscribe. I hope y'all had a very good day. I will see you all next time. Goodbye, heroes.